Hi, I'm Zeke with the Eastside Church of Christ in Baytown, Texas. Thanks for joining us for this week's Eastside 5x5x5 Bible reading for the week of May 16th through the 22nd, 2021. We're going to be in Acts chapters 23 through 27 this week. Last week, Paul had been told that he'd have the opportunity to defend himself before the Jewish council. Now in Acts chapter 23, Paul is brought before the council by the Roman commander who just wants to find out what the cause of the intense hostility is towards Paul. Paul identifies himself first as a Pharisee, and then he affirms the resurrection of the dead, which sets off a whole nother dissension so fierce that the commander, fearing for Paul's life, orders him to be removed. When a plot to kill Paul is reported, the apostle is sent to Caesarea, guarded by many soldiers on foot and many on horseback as well. Acts 24 has Paul in Caesarea, where the high priest and a high-powered lawyer appear to bring charges against Paul, of course, which the apostle disputes. He identifies deeply with the Jewish religion, and so he relates Christianity to it and says that this has been God's plan all along. Felix, the Roman governor, puts off making any kind of decision by stating his desire to hear from the commander Lysias, who never comes. Meanwhile, Felix keeps Paul locked up as a favor to the Jews, all the while hoping for a bribe. And so Paul is imprisoned for 2 years. In Acts chapter 25, we see that Felix is replaced by Festus, and the charges against Paul are refreshed by the Jews, some of whom make the trip to Caesarea to again confront Paul. This time, the charges are multiplied and many more serious ones are added. Paul's defense is that there is none to be made to the Jews, since he'd done nothing against the Jewish law. He appeals to Caesar, as is his right, and at a loss as to what to write to the emperor, Festus seeks advice from the visiting King Agrippa, who wants to see what Paul has to say. Now, Acts 26 contains that hearing before Agrippa. This Agrippa is Agrippa II. This is the son of the Herod Agrippa who had James killed in Acts chapter 12. And he was known as being very loyal to Rome. The hearing is held with great pomp and ceremony before the king, and Paul takes the opportunity to present not only his personal testimony, but also the gospel to him. Festus, who's challenged to believe Paul's testimony, exclaims that Paul is mad. Agrippa accuses Paul of trying to make him a Christian. Of course, that's the whole point of Paul's defense. In Acts chapter 27, Paul is preparing to make his trip to Rome in order to be tried before Caesar. Remember, he made that appeal to him. And so, along with Luke and other friends, he embarks a ship to set sail for Italy under Roman guard and with many other prisoners. Progress is slow at first, and Paul warns of the danger if they keep pushing on. Well, they keep pushing on. They continue on, and they're caught in a fierce storm. They're being driven along dangerously by it. After 2 weeks, Paul receives a vision from Jesus that all will be safe. And with this encouragement, the demoralized crew eats some food, and then eventually they run aground near an island. Paul and the rest of the prisoners float on various items to reach land safely, just as Jesus had promised. So after a harrowing trip at sea, Paul isn't quite to Rome yet. He's on an island, which we'll find out a little bit more about in next week's reading. But for now, Paul is safe. But he's still got to get to Rome. And he will. Well, thanks for joining us. And I hope we'll see you next time on our Eastside 5x5x5 Bible reading. God bless you.